Alright, so in this lesson we're going to go over tables. So here's some things that you might be needing to use a table for on your website to create a schedule or a calendar, organize contact information, display game or sports scores or other related statistics, organize account information, compare product information, and things like that. So here are the new tags that we're going to be going over. So we're going to be adding these to our web design notes. All right, so the table tag, open and close, marks where a table begins and ends. Table row, so TR, table row, marks where a table row begins and ends. Remember, rows go from left to right, just like here is a row and here is a row. Table data, so TD and close TD, contains data for the cell, so each of these is part of the table data. And table heading, TH and close TH, contains text for row and or column headings. So that makes it into bold, and it's usually found at the very top above each column. So let's go ahead and add these to our list. So we have table starts the table code section, and then we had TR. This starts a row on the table. TD, the information inside a cell on the table. And TH, the header for the row / column of a table. Alright, let's go back and make sure we didn't miss any. So table, table row, table detail or data, and table heading. Alright. So table headers are created with the TH and /TH tags. Using table headers makes it clearer what each row and column of your data is supposed to represent, and are used by screen readers to describe content for visually impaired users of your site. So if someone is having to use some assistance or accessibility software, it would read it as element, and it knows to read in certain directions. So table headers also make it easier for each engines to index your site. Finally, the table headers will give you more control over the appearance of your table when you start to use CSS. So you'll be able to target this column or this row, so on and so forth. So here's an example of what one would look like, and you can make it in CSS later to where you don't see the lines that go in between to make the grid form. Okay, but we will get into that. Alright, so let's get into our practice. Here we go. Alright, so here's our stuff from the previous section. Alright, so we're going to create a basic table in HTML, but first we need to create a new file. Alright, so file, I'm going to go ahead, file, save as, table practice, save it as HTML. Then I'm going to go to my template, Control A to select everything, Control C to copy, and Control V to paste. I'm going to change the title, my site table. Probably change that later, but it's there for now. Alright. Now we have use the body section in your HTML file, write the table and closing table around the closing tags. Alright, so here we are. So we're going to do table. And obviously it's going to be on the top and the bottom. So between these table tags, write table row opening and closing tags. So table row. between these first table row tags, write table heading. Opening and closing tags, write a pair of table heading tags for each column you want in your table. Write the text for the column headings between the table header tags. All right. First off, I'm going to do some cleaning up. I like to do it this way. All right, so let's do 3 headings. All right. Now create a second row for your table with a second set of table row. Between these row tags, write table data. Opening and closing tags, write a pair of table data tags for each column of data in your table. Write the table data between the table data tags. Continue adding rows to complete your table. Add a caption for your table using the caption element just after the table opening tag as an example below. All right, so we need to get all this done first. So the reason why I have not filled any of this out is because it makes things easier if I know how many rows and columns I'm going to do before I go back and fill it in. So if you just saw, I just selected all of this and I copied. Now I'm going to hit enter and paste. Now I obviously don't need multiple table headings, so I'm going to change each of these manually to TD. All right, then I'm going to copy this. So now I have a heading row, 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows. All right, that'll be good enough practice. All right, so we're going to make this. All right, so we have actually 4, so let's just copy and paste an extra line into each. Okay, so you should have 4 table headers and 4 table datas in each row. Okay, so row and box or cell. All right, so in this first one we're going to do food, so raw 100 grams, and then protein in grams, and then fats in grams, and carbs in the measurement of grams. Now notice we have commenting that needs to be done. Alright, so at the beginning we have this caption. We'll go ahead and add it since we're up here. Nutrition and formation. And then below that we have a comment. The first table row holds the header for each column. Okay, and we finished this section. So we're going to the second table row. Second row holds data. Okay, so then we're going to go kale 3, 1, 10. And then this is going to be the same comment, so I'm just going to copy and paste. And then change that to obviously third. And I'm sure this one's going to say the same thing. Remember, if you do not comment and organize your information, you will lose points. Spinach is our second row. and that's 304. So 304, and then our third row of items, not the actual third row, the fourth row because we have a heading, is 307. And then we're going to have a comment here, table closing tag. Alright, so we just need to make sure there's no red tags, so everything's closed, there's no stray symbols or anything like that. So this is how it should look. And ours looks just like it. Okay? And this is how it appears when you load it up into a web browser. It's a lot of code for something that seems like it's very small, but this is actually a very nice, clean way that you can even organize and do layouts in your website if needed. And I would go over that much later. But this is very easy for you to do. So after you complete this template, you should modify some of your data and create other columns and rows, as well as change your headers. Alright, so what that's basically saying is you can go back and change this stuff. Maybe you want to do something other than food and nutritional value. If you want to do like sports statistics or something like that, you can have, player name, touchdowns or yards, and however much, whatever statistics you want to do, and then you put all that information for that player, and then you go to the next player and the next player. Alright, so you can do that. Now we're going to talk about borders. Borders are the lines that go around your table. So the reason why borders are nice is because it can help you kind of separate where this column ends and this column begins, or this row ends and this row begins. Alright, so borders make the table easier to read. It's preferable for us to use CSS to style it, but we can do it in our HTML code. So we'll add borders and make it easier to display. So try adding a border attribute, border equals X, to the table element and give it a value of 1. So table, go all the way up to where we started our table. Border equals 1. So in a browser, this is what it would look like now. You can see that now all of our cells have a border around it. Alright, now go ahead and try and increase that number, somewhere around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you would see what would happen.